Hi, let me ask you a question. Have you ever gotten used to something that you should never gotten used to? I'm talking about something that was wrong, painful, dangerous, but it happens so often that you stop reacting to it. I have. Let me take you back for a second. When I was a kid, and even as a teenager, I saw things. I saw things no young person should ever see. I saw violence, stabbings, people getting jumped, people getting robbed, people murdered. And it wasn't once, it was twice, it was often. So often that something strange happened inside of me. Somebody would say, "Hey, someone just got shot down the block." And my reaction became, "Oh well," as if it was normal, as if it was acceptable, as if it was just part of life. But it wasn't normal and it wasn't right. What happened was this: repeated exposure made my heart numb. I wasn't wicked, I wasn't heartless, I was used to it. I was used to it. And when you get used to something long enough, you stop noticing how dark it really is. Why am I telling you this? Because this is exactly what Jesus said the world will look like as we get closer to the end of the age. Not just wars, not just earthquakes, not just famines, not just pestilence. Those have been happening for centuries. What Jesus focused on was something deeper, something subtle, something dangerous. He warned us that people will become spiritually numb, just like I became emotionally numb to the violence in my neighborhood. Jesus says, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. And most people think, oh, that means people were evil. Yes, they were. But Jesus highlights something different. He says people were eating and drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage. In other words, life felt normal. People woke up every morning, went about their business, enjoyed their routines, made plans, and completely ignored the fact that judgment was right at the door. Nothing shook them, nothing awakened them, nothing made them pay attention. Just like my teenage years around violence, they had seen sin and corruption. They had seen sin and corruption for so long that nothing bothered them anymore. The warning became background noise. And then Jesus says, they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. That's in Matthew 24:39. Not because Noah didn't warn them, not because the signs weren't there, but because their hearts were numb. If you look around today, people are reacting exactly the same way. Another war happens all the time. Another earthquake, nothing new, nothing new. Another mass shooting, sadly normal. Another pandemic, We've been through worse. Another false Christ? Whatever. Another moral collapse? That's the world now. People hear, they hear prophecy, hear the gospel, hear warnings, hear about Jesus returning, and sure, not because they hate God, not because they're evil, but because the signs have become so common that they feel routine. Just like someone got shot became routine in my neighborhood. Fami- Familiarity kills urgency. Jesus didn't say the world would end because of earthquakes or pandemics or famine. He said the real danger was this: because lawlessness will increase, the love of many will grow cold. That's numbness, a cold heart, a tired heart, a desensitized heart, a heart that says it's always been like this. Everything continues the same. This is normal. Peter said the same thing. In the last days, markers will say, where is this coming? He promised. Where is it? That's in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 to 4. People won't fear the signs. They'll dismiss them. Just like I dismissed the violence, not because it was good, but because it was familiar. Jesus says, be careful or your hearts will grow dull. And he told the parable of the 10 virgins. And both the wise and the foolish fell asleep. That's the climate today. People aren't scared, they're sleepy. And sleepy people miss moments. People say these signs have always been here. That's true. But Jesus compared them to labor pains. Labor pains happen long before birth, but when the contractions get closer, stronger, more frequent, more intense, you know the baby is near. You don't see new pains, just the final one. We're not waiting for new signs, we're waiting for the last contraction. And most of the world is spiritually numb. So they won't expect anything until the moment it happens. Just like Noah's generation, just like my childhood experience with violence, just like Jesus warned. So let me talk to your heart for a moment. If you feel numb, if everything feels normal, if the world's chaos don't move you anymore, wake up. Not with fear, not with panic, but with awareness. Jesus says, when you see all these things, stand and lift your heads because your redemption is drawing near. This is not a time to relax spiritually. This is not a time to get comfortable. This is not a time to do life on autopilot. This is not a time to get lost in routine. This is not a time to fall asleep. This is a time to be awake, alert, ready, focused, close to God. Because Jesus says the end would come suddenly, unexpectedly, like in the days of Noah, while everyone else feels normal. But not for you. You lived through numbness before. You recognize what it looks like. You know the dangers of getting used to darkness. And God is using that experience to open your eyes now. Stay awake, stay ready, and don't let your heart go numb again. Jesus is closer than we think.